Welcome back to another video. Um, it has been a rough couple of days in the Grumpy household. For those who have been followed my lives last week and stuff. I knew it was gonna be a rough weekend, but I'll be honest with y'all, I did not know it was gonna be this rough. Um, my firstborn, my son, my best buddy, whatever you want to call him, has been moved off to college, and I'm not taking it well. I'm not taking it. This is going to be a short video, and I can't hold it together longer than 5 minutes. So that's what's going on. Um, I don't know most parents take it like this, but my son and I did everything together, and this is killing me. And I thought 2 days later I'd be okay, but yesterday I had to leave the house just to get out the house. That's how bad it is, and it's not. I'm not doing well. So anyway, so maybe I'll do a video on crypto, my usual Monday video, and see if that might get my mind off things. I don't know, because going over some of these prices and everything and updating my sheet, I don't know what the hell's going on with crypto. I saw Tech Hustler put a X out earlier saying, just to let y'all know, we already missed the alt season. So I guess you can laugh about it. I don't know what the hell's going on with crypto. A lot of our prices on our projects have all gone down, but Bitcoin is still in a decent price range. So I don't know what the hell's going on. But before we go any further, make sure you hit the like button. It really helps out the video, helps out the channel, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. And I really appreciate all the support. Appreciate the people who have checked on me over the weekend. And let's see if we can get through this video. So on my live last Thursday, I drew a couple of lines like I knew I was talking about. And, Bitcoin was going back up, and I drew this kind of support line and what was going to happen if it fell below this kind of new support line, short-term support line. This was about 120,000. It made it up to 125,000. Congratulations. But I was telling everybody, take profits. This is not going to last. This is going up too fast. Take profits. If you want to take profits, just take some profits, sip a little bit of profits, just so when it comes back down, you can buy more. And sure enough, I called it like right after the video I did. It sure enough came down. It came down hard. But all in all, I mean, to me, it's almost doing a sideways type trajectory. But I told everybody this was going to be its kind of new support line over a couple of days. It fell and broke that, and sideways again. And this is the long-term line that I have been playing with. If you have been following this at all, that this line has been since back in April, kind of a hard support line. And I said, if this breaks this, it has not broken below the support line since April. And it broke that earlier today, last night. And now it's just kind of bouncing off of it. Now it's almost like a resistance line. So I am curious to see if it breaks hard, I think it's going to go up again pretty good. If it keeps hitting this and comes back down, we could be in trouble. You had Ethereum, and Ethereum since, August, Ethereum has been steadily going up. Everybody's getting all excited, thinking that was the beginning of alt season. I told everybody, be careful. I don't think this is it. And I had people telling me I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And now you see Ethereum coming down again. I'm not gonna sit and draw any lines or anything, but it was up to 4,700, down to 4,300. It was down to 4,200 at one point. But we'll see. We'll have to see if this is going to continue in a trend going down. To me, that's not good for an alt season if that's what happens. So we're going to have to wait and see. Same thing with Solana. You had Solana back here, beginning of August, making its trek up to $210, and has slowly regressed back to 183. And, if you let it fall this 160, 150 range, it's some great buying opportunities. I don't know how far it's going to fall. Again, I haven't really been keeping up with the whole macro situation of what's driving a lot of this. But again, we're about to go over our projects now. You're going to see a lot of these projects right now hurting. One project that seems to be kind of holding the line, back in August, beginning of August, it was down to 68 cents. And even though it hit $1, it's still hanging around this 92 cents. This is Cardano. So I own a lot of Cardano. So I am kind of happy to see it. So hopefully when everything else starts going up, if Cardano can stay at that upper level and then go up, that should really help it out also. I would love to see Cardano go back to all-time high. So again, we're going to hit our projects. Majority of our projects have come down. I was quite surprised when I did this update. Again, with everything going on in life, not really keeping up with a lot of things. It's just been a lot. So let's go ahead and get started on our projects. We'll discuss and see what those are doing. All right, starting off, number one is still going to be Chirp by far. I think you'd be quite surprised by how some profits have dropped. But Chirp has actually come up a little bit since last week's. Last week we were in the high 4s with Chirp. Again, this is only from the Blackbird device for those who have Blackbirds or can get their hands on Blackbird Miner. But right now, the price is about 9.069, almost 7 cents. Basically, he's called 7 cents. With that, you're making about $5 a day with Chirp. I am trying to claim my Chirp every now and then because when you first get your Chirp, they are locked, so you can't touch them. I had to make a a-hole comment. I don't care with the mood I'm in right now. I'm going to say what I'm going to say is Chirp did another X or Twitter thread talking about how great it is that all these tokens are locked away and all of us participants are locking our tokens because we have such great faith in the project. And I threw the BS flag out. You can't sit here and brag when we don't have a freaking choice. We just got all these KAGE tokens, but I got 400 Chirp or 300 Chirp, 300 something Chirp for KAGE, but they're all locked. I can't dump them if I want to. They're automatically locked. You got them held hostage. And then you're going to go on Twitter for all the other investors to see that all of our participants, we have X amount of percentage of Chirp that are all locked. Yeah, because you got them locked. So yeah, I called them out on that one. Here's Chirp right here on Discord. We've crossed over 400,000 Chirp locked in the Chirp lockup pool. Yeah, because we don't have a choice. You got them locked up from us. Now, listen, I will say I have staked almost all the Chirp that I can. I have staked Chirp from all the mining I did my Blackbird plus with my KAGE because of the token price is. Listen, this might backfire and blow up in my face, but I'm hoping with the way the token price is going, hopefully there is an alt season towards the end of the year. Like I keep saying there might be. I have all my lockups end sometime in November. Even today when I did more lockup or staking, when you can pick 180 days, I backed it off to like 150 days just to make it sometime around the end of December. I don't get the full 6 months worth, but I don't care. You can pick how long you want to stake for. There's a slide. You can pick it for a couple of days through 6 months. So I backed it down to the end of the year in case there is a big alt season, and that's how long I'm staking it for. But you know, it is what it is. Now, one thing I did forget to do with Chirp was I screwed up again, where it automatically makes you stake all of the tokens that are available to be staked. I went and backed them down by 500 to keep 500 there to get my bonus for Chirp KAGE. But then as I messed around with the slide scale, somehow, and I didn't realize this, it maxed out again all my available tokens. So now when I press stake after I realized it, I'm down to 0 Chirp tokens in my wallet, which means I'm not getting the Chirp KAGE anymore. I had to go buy the freaking 500 Chirp last time with some SUI I had. I'm not in the mood to go do that again. And I'm PO'd that I'm screwed with this. But part of me is, again, this is me and my piss poor attitude. And I apologize. But I didn't make hardly anything with Chirp KAGE the last time, so am I really that worried about it? I don't know yet. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do yet on that. All right, so moving on. Number 2, GeoDNet. GeoDNet dropped in price also is another one. GeoDNet, you're making about 12 Geo per day. I just checked mine. It's like 11.9. So we're going to call it 12 for the hell of it. The price has fallen, though. Fell by 13%. I know who fought it's going to go crazy. But it was 17.5 cents at the last video we did. It is now at 15 cents. So yes, it did drop a little bit down. For the month it's down 11%. So for the month, it is kind of holding. I mean, it was at 16 cents a month ago. It's at 15 cents now. It's still holding steady. But yeah, the daily, what we're making daily on it is not as great as it was before. The two very important things, if you're involved in this project, is 2 GIPs, as I guess they're called, GeoDNet improvement protocols or propositions, whatever you want to call them. GIP 7, GIP 8, GIP 7, GIP 8, whatever way you want to pronounce it. I'm gonna say GIP for GeoDNet. No, that's actually GIP 7, GIP 8. Who cares? Have been both open since August 16th. Voting will remain till August 30th to make sure you cast your vote before then. Then there's a link in, this is the announcements, where you can go and click. So if you want to go see what those are, GIP 7 or GIP 7 is going to be them discussing Solana migration from GeoDNet, from Polygon to Solana. And it gives all the proposal, how it's going to do that, a detailed explanation. Polygon support is going to end March 2027. So basically, they're moving everything from Polygon to Solana. That would be number 7 that you vote for if you approve it or not. Next would be GIP 8, GeoDNet Improvement Protocol 8, network scaling and empty supply cap. I know I've heard several of y'all discuss, and I'm not that deep into this project. I do have 2 stations. I'm the only one around in my whole hex, so I don't have to worry about this. But some of y'all have discussed how you want a hard cap of locations. Basically, this is to encourage high quality stations, stop low performers from blocking rewards, control network size. Originally, they were trying to do a 100,000 station goal, which is excessive for effective coverage, a 20,000 NFT cap to sustain and value for valuable network. Increase predictability, clear supply limits, create a healthy rewards and better token value alignment. So I'm just pulling this out of thin air, out of my butt, but I'm wondering also if this would help rewards, because if they think one day they're going to have 100,000 station goals, wouldn't they be holding more tokens today to be able to reach that goal and pay out that goal later? So that would release more today, or the way they're splitting them, it doesn't matter. I don't know. But to me, if you are into this project a lot, you might want to make sure that you go and vote on this. Like I said, there's a spot right there at the bottom. You can't see because my fat head's in the way. But right here on the bottom, it says approve to vote or go back. So y'all tell me what y'all feel about this. Those of y'all who are deep into GeoDNet, and y'all figure it out. All right, so moving on. Next, we're going to have Onocoy. Onocoy's in 3rd place right now. They've moved up. With my device making about 31 Ono a day, that is equivalent with today's pricing of, 5 cents. That token has come down a little bit, but I'm still making, that's $1.57 per day with Onocoy. If you look back last week when we did our video, the price was at 6 cents. That's kind of a quick jump. Somebody bought a decent amount, somebody sold a decent amount. So if you go back to kind of where it was before the sideways action, it's been hanging around 5 cents. So it's nothing really too crazy. I do see a good amount of sales down here, though, but no real big announcements right now from Onocoy or anything. So moving on, number 4 is going to be ROVR. Again, this varies a lot. So it's hard for me to put down a number of what, you would make with Rover. Rover is per mileage. And I believe it's what 1.6 Rover per mileage. Me going back to work, maybe running a couple of errands like that. When I figured it out, it was like, about $1.50. It could be more. If you're driving more, I drove again, my son, God, like I bring it up. I drove my son 4 hours to college, ran Rover that whole way, went all the way back. That was looking at the map, trying to figure it out. That was close to 700 kilometers right there that, you know, I traveled for that. You double that because it was a round trip. We also had to go to the store to pick a couple of things that we forgot. You're looking at, by the time I was done, is I made over 1,000 Rover on that one trip, which was close to about $10. So I made $10 worth of Rover on that trip, just letting this on the dashboard. Now, one time my wife's like, "What the hell are you doing with all these phones up here?" Because I got 4 different phones up there going on. I look like a moron when I'm bringing all these phones with me when I go inside to eat. I got like a pile of 6 phones, but I got a phone for Natix, a phone for SOARCHAIN's video or whatever they call it, camera. I got Rover, got SOARCHAIN, Rover. Um, I don't know. I got Chirp KAGE. It's getting to be too much. It is starting to be too much. It's starting to be pain in the butt. Is it all worth it? I don't know. But it is what it is. So, with Rover, it's very hard for me to figure out what you're gonna make by doing this thing. The device really isn't that super duper crazy expensive. Depending on how much you make, if it's worth it to you or not. You can pick them up at Helium Deploy and use my code right here to get a discount if you were interested in getting that. One of the announcements they came out with today, as of 10:15 today, my time, which is Central Time, there was only 3 light cones left. So you do have people purchasing these big old things to go in front of their car. Like I said, if you're not married and you ain't worried about what your wife says, you're getting 16. Where I just got. Let me figure that out real quick. So on that same trip to North Louisiana for my son's drop off, where I only made $9 basically, I would have made $99 worth of tokens just on that one trip. Now again, I would have had this big old thing on my front on the top of my truck, but that's $100 in a day on one trip. So I guess if you have the money to float this thing and you don't care what it looks like, while they're giving away 16 tokens a kilometer, that's some pretty dang good rewards. All right, moving on to our next one. Number 5 is going to be Entropy. The mighty have fallen. That's all I can say. I got corrected with my college math during the last live I did on, I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday. And basically live on the live, I had to redo my math and realize how quite wrong I was on what we're currently making. Profits have come down. Price has kind of stayed the same. Still hover around that 0.00007375 range. Comes up, it gets close to 8, then somebody sells. It gets close to 7, then somebody buys. But where we were making a lot more tokens in the past, now that you have all these Entropy Ashlers coming online, we're now down to about, again, this is with just the basic 1.3, because I have a whale in each one of my as the NFTs. So the best I can figure for y'all is 1.3 bonus on a basic miner. I'm getting 19,760. That's 1.3. What I can't figure out is with the 2.0, by having a whale, snake, and ape NFT, and you're supposed to be getting 2. I'm only getting like 2 or 3,000 more than this, if that. So I don't really understand how that worked out. But anyway, it is what it is at this point. So with the entropy price and entropy token right now, we're making $1.45 a day. Now, if you have multiple ones like I do, you're making a little bit more than that. But basically, they're just sitting here to sit here, and we'll see what happens in the future about being able to move it. But that's all I got right now for entropy. There's no really other news right now going on with that I haven't gone over last week. Moving on to junk. Junk, we're making about $1.40 a day right now with junk. For those who followed it last week, I did do last week the junk pool to show how that worked and everything. And it was a loss for me. Even if I would have brought out those extra 2 days, because I started like a day late. So if you figure out what I made every day and add it to like one more day, I still would have lost out. So for right now, I'm just collecting. I'm just collecting my junk. I haven't decided if I'm gonna move it to a wallet yet or not. Either way, you can't sell it with this project at all. But you know, it's a cool little project if you have an ESP32. I think you need an NFT now to mine this. It's something you got to check with them on the Discord. I know they are teaming up with some kind of game or something like that I was reading about earlier. But again, you're making $1.40 a day, which is better than some projects we're doing. Not as good as some of the other ones, but when I got into it, I paid for with an ESP32 device, which was $7. So that's how much I have into this. Next is going to be probably my favorite project for this week going on. I know y'all sick of hearing me talk about it. I've talked about it on my live, talk about it to y'all, trying to convince y'all to do this project, but it's not even a crypto project, but I'm making bank with it. Now, I do have several devices running this, but it's going to be Earnapp. I just took another 100 out the other day. I wanted some money to take my son out to eat and everything when we moved up there Saturday, and I didn't want to use my money, so personal money, so took 100 out of that. I needed something, so I just took another 50 out. Look, I have cleared close to $600 in 3 months. For some reason, I don't know why, but my balance is jumping up pretty fast. But when I try to figure out per day what I'm making, some machines are making, depends on, I think, how much bandwidth you got to share. I think it matters I know it matters what country you're in. But even for me, I probably got 12 or 13 devices right now doing Earnapp. And some make hardly anything. Some are making close to $1 a day. So I'm kind of just throwing an in-between number out there. We're not trying to figure out what it is. I'm trying to put more of these out. I'm not joking with you. I'm trying to find any kind of old pie. I tried Resurrection, the old Le Potato I had, tried to do a warranty claim on it, got it and got that replaced. And I'm putting a Le Potato out there at like my niece's house, strictly running Earnapp, and that's it. And I'm gonna give her some cash, and I told her that. I'll Venmo you some money, a couple of bucks every couple of weeks, and she's okay with it because she's studying for school and she's in med school right now, so she's not using her bandwidth at all. So that's all I'm doing is I'm taking a freaking Le Potato, $35, throwing that on there, and even if it takes me 35 days, 40 days to technically ROI on it, if you want to call it that, I'm not worried about it. Like, I'm trying to put as many Earnapps together right now. I'm into other projects like Honeygain and Pawns, but they're not making anything compared to what Earnapp's doing. Earnapp is cleaning up for me. I don't have to worry about what the crypto price is. I don't have to worry about converting anything, moving it to wallets or anything. I go to Earnapp, I press cash out, I choose PayPal, Amazon, or some other option. I press PayPal in between a day or working day or two. It's in my PayPal that fast. And again, I know I say this all the time. Look, if y'all don't want to try it, y'all don't want to try it. Don't make me twist your arm. But if there's a way, like somebody asked me this the other day because they just didn't understand. You know, I have several DIY Wingbits devices out there, and the ones that I've either talked to host or whatever, or I have them hosted in all kinds of different spots. I run this code for Earnapp on all of the script for Earnapp on all those. So that's why I have so many. And now, like I told you, I'm trying to run it on straight on pies because that's how much money I'm making from it. I've cashed out more on Earnapp than I have on any crypto project probably combined all year. Probably longer than that. Maybe in a year. So if I can keep on doing it and I can keep getting a hold of old pies or some little potatoes and I can figure out another place to go throw in somewhere, I'm doing it. Because it's what's making me money and giving me spending money right now without having to go dip into anything else. So I have a code in my description below. Please use that code. It helps me out. Not that I'm making a lot off referrals, but it just makes me feel better knowing that y'all are trying it. I love to see that referral going up, my referral number going up of the amount of people using referrals, just so I know that y'all are getting it and that, y'all kind of listen to me. It makes me feel good, and I appreciate that. So moving on. WeatherXM's took a hit again in pricing. You're looking at about 12% drop over the 7 days. It's kind of like everything else. Everything else has been dropping also. You had 12 cents up to 12.3 cents at one point a week ago. You're down to 10 cents now. It doesn't sound like a lot until you look at what the monthly was. The monthly was, you're down 36% right now. I don't know what's going on with WeatherXM. And looking at the Discord announcements page, anything like that, there's no really new news going on. They're on the Solana store now, but no real news going on as far as anything good or bad going on with the project. I don't know if they need to go add some liquidity to it, burn some more tokens. They got to do something to jumpstart this token. Unless they're hoping that the alt season brings this up like everything else. I don't know. But that's why they're exempt. 21 cents a day. Number 9 is grass. I'm going to tell you, listen, I hate to sound like a broken record every video, but there's no new news on grass at all. I can't stand this auto bot. If that's not Transformers Autobot, but this bot that if somebody asks anything about getting paid out, it's this bot that responds that we're not basing it off time, we're basing it off where we are in the project. Yeah, but if you start losing everybody, I just had to think that's a direct correlation with price. And I'm sorry I say this every video, but I think, what's going to happen is eventually at some point, whether it's September or October, they're going to pay out. They're going to pay out this huge amount, and everybody's going to be ecstatic when it's a huge amount, but it's going to be a huge amount because they haven't paid us in a year. When you divide it out by a year and you divide it out by the day, is it going to be worth it? I have all my tokens staked right now on the grass servers on the BitHarvest server. And for right now, I'm keeping it there. But I don't know what I'm going to do when these tokens come out. I'm sick of playing this game with grass. It still doesn't work on the BitHarvest devices. Even though I'm still running the BitHarvest devices for some of these other projects, including Earnapp. It does work for Earnapp. So, if I need a device, I'm going to tell you all a little bit about DIMO, but the hurdles I got to go through DIMO between Helium and DIMO. I'll tell you all that in a minute. But, that's grass for right now. Honeygain's pawns, same thing. Anything I'm running grass on, I'm running Earnapp on, and I'm running Honeygain and pawns. I just keep Earnapp in its own box because it's doing just way better than Honeygain and pawns. It's not even fair to compare them. The battle for last place, Helium. Helium's price, we were getting excited. It was going up. And Helium said, not so fast. Don't get excited about us. Let's show you the real us. Helium's down 10.5% in a week. It was at $2.84 last week, and it's down 257. It's taking a sharp dive just in the last 2 or 3 hours, as you can see. Yeah, who knows what's going on with them. For the month, they're down, I think it's like 30%, 32%. They were at 374 a month ago. We were all getting excited again. And here we are again. I'm telling you, I still have 17 miners going. As of right now, 15 miners. This is actually wrong. I just got one back online. I had to go down and get it. I had to go and re-put the firmware on it, and I actually, since I had to grab it down from where it's at the host, I put Bit Harvest on it so I can run Earnapp. But Bit Harvest, I can, you know, despite there's been really no support and the project's been kind of stale, even though they say they're gonna get back into it and catch up. It is what it is. I just have to be fair with y'all, but I'm still running it, still supporting it, just because other than grass, they still work. Even though Tailscale every now and then falls out of it for some reason. But I'm gonna talk more about Helium in a second when I get to DIMO. So just let's pause that and let's keep on going until I get to DIMO. Talk about that chit 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 show. Silencio, there's no news on Silencio. Silencio still sucks. They're not changing raffle tickets. Price hasn't really moved. For last 7 days, it's kind of stayed the same. It was at 15.5 cents or 15.9 cents 9. Now it's down to 14.9, about 15. So there's nothing really to talk. I'm just again, I'm sorry I sound like a broken record, but it's disappointing. It's just disappointing that this project would do better than what it's doing. All right, so moving on from Silencio to Natix. Natix the same thing. It's nothing exciting, nothing really worth going over. Natix reached 200 million kilometers driven. Congratulations to them. Cleared second Natix lap. The second network lapse process triggered. They want to thank WeatherXM for taking part of it, and their 3 lucky participants will get their own WXM D1 Wi-Fi devices, which I have to say, I have one right here, and the D1 is better than the original M5 that I got. The D1 is much better, other than it doesn't have a total rain display. I don't understand that, but that's all there really is about Natix. The price really hasn't moved. It's at 0.0083. It's at 0.008 now. All right, so moving on. Next is going to be DIMO. The price has kind of stayed the same. What's a funny joke is the Discord. You still have people questioning, why isn't the device working? What's a subscription? Does the subscription money go back to the owners or the us people? Like, they just have no idea how you've been involved in a crypto project and you missed all the emails, the Discords and everything. I tell you all the time, you have to keep up with what's going on in Discord. Even though you hate Discord, if you're going to be in a crypto project, then you have to keep up in Discord. Even if you don't like Discord, you got to put up with it. If not, you can't be upset when you miss out on very important facts. But when you see this, like, it can absolutely 20x from here. Yeah. Imagine what those guys said about Bitcoin. Yeah. So now we're comparing this to Bitcoin. I love that whenever people talk about that. Even when they talk about halving, HNT halving. Yeah. You know, Bitcoin halved and look at what it did. Yeah. And so did a lot of these other projects halved and look what they did. You know, or it could just fade into the sunset. There's always that option too. Yeah, because if you go back and read several of these, you have several people who have the same opinion that I do, and I know a lot of y'all do, is that I'm not going to go pay for a subscription and pay more than what I'm making in DIMO, because I was finally ROI'd in DIMO for a very, very, very short time, because y'all were all sick of hearing me talk about how I have never ROI'd in DIMO. And guess what? I have now fell back under the DIMO. I got to update this number real quick. Please hold. So now I have updated. I have total 5,454 DIMO that I have made for 20 months. That equals right now in value to $275. So I am still, if you want to call it barely ROI, I got it for $90 a piece. Times 3 is $270 plus the shipping. But technically, I guess if you don't want to include the shipping, $270, maybe a ROI by then. But for the last 3 or 4 months, I've also gotten 2 for free from a buddy who didn't want it. So I have 5 running right now trying to help me ROI. I think it's quite sad. I think it's sad that you have 5 devices running. Now, you've been in this project for 20 months and you have $275 to show for it. And now they want to charge you subscriptions. Me with the Macron, I now have, I have several months left of free subscription. I don't have to cross that bridge. But I'm telling y'all right now, when the day comes 13 months from now, 14 months from now, whatever it is, that my subscriptions are due on DIMO, I am out. 100% out. Now, this is another issue. We want to talk, I try to defend Helium sometimes, saying how big the network is and that kind of stuff like that. But the problem is, this is also an issue with DIMO and with Helium. You get the DIMO Macron, and the DIMO Macron only runs if there's a Helium IoT device in the area. So without giving away for his safety and your safety, if someone has my son, God bless you. Y'all should know that by now. But basically, let's say, for instance, he's going to college. We all know he's in North Louisiana without saying that. But let's just say, for instance, he's in like this region right here. Now he has a DIMO device that has been hooked up in his truck for 2 years now. It's got an awesome streak. I have to now find a Helium device somehow, whether I buy it online or move one of the ones I have now, ship it to him. He's in a dorm, so he can't put anything outside. So he's going to have to stick it outside a window with just a basic, the antenna that hangs off the back of it, and hope he parks close enough if I want to keep his DIMO working. What sense does that make? To keep that streak going. So basically, your DIMO Macrons, which I know y'all are telling me, Grumpy, you should know this by now. I do know this. But I'm just going to try to show you the limitations of the DIMOs, the Macrons, and even Helium, to a point that even if it's not DIMO, if it's WeatherXM, it's my brother WeatherXM device that runs off Helium but doesn't have a Helium device, or the Helium device broke, and they got a WeatherXM device up in here. Natix is very famous for certain big holiday events, huge crowds. If anybody goes in there for over a week with a DIMO Macron and travels, they're losing their streak. So that is one thing that people need to account for. So it looks like I'm either going to buy a cheap eBay, unless somebody has one they want to, sell to me at a relatively cheap price. Because I've been looking at some used one. I don't even want to pay the $50 for a used one or new one or anything like that. Because you'll never ROI from it. Not making 10 cents a day or whatever you're making. So I'm going to have to go to one of my hosts and probably grab one and ship it to them. And it sucks because then I got to pay to move it, to assert it. But it is what it is. But that is one thing now that I got to deal with him being up somewhere, in this barren area, is that there is no devices up there. Because you got to remember, some of these devices, just because you see these green marks, they all could be dead. They're famous for having, let's see if we can click any of these. That's one that's active. That's another one active. These are active. So these are active. Active. They're going to make me like a fool. So you go around also. See, here's one that's inactive. This is another one that's going to be inactive. See, it's got a 0 in it. So that's got a 0 in it. This has got a 0 in it. This has got a 0 in it, or inactive. So that's one more thing I got to deal with, is getting him a Helium device. And I have to get to him before Sunday. So I have to go grab it, figure out what I'm going to do with it, priority mail it, that he has to get it hooked up before Sunday, so I can get his DIMO in his truck linked up before Sunday, so I don't lose this long streak I got of I don't know how long I've had it for since the beginning. So that's 20 months now of streak. So that's one thing I got to deal with. Moving on. SOARCHAIN, God bless SOARCHAIN. I don't know what else to say about it. When I took this trip to bring my son up to college and back, even though that was close to 8 hours total driving with everything we did, you know, 3.5, 4 hours there, 3.5, 4 hours back, then a little bit of shopping we did when we ate lunch. I only end up with like 30 something tokens because you get a good bonus of tokens as you're moving at first, but eventually it just goes back to a regular token. So with 35 tokens, I got 7 cents. Yes, people, 7 cents. SOARCHAIN in the last 7 days is down 25%. It was at 0.00265. It is now at 0.200020. So it's down 25%. About the same thing for the month. It's, you know, this is a good, you know, I hate to sometimes put these announcements and stuff like that, but what kind of project is it that neither makes money, any profit for its miners, its investors? It's failing more and more apparently. I hate the whole thing. Everything's a scam. Just because something is not successful does not mean it's a scam. I'm sick of the word scam. I'm sick of the word rug pull. I don't believe it's a scam. I don't want to hear about it. I don't hear about DEPIN because there are successful projects in DEPIN. Like, idiots, man. Complete morons. So I don't know. Again, y'all know I'm making all my tokens off of staking, but even those ain't worth hardly anything with that price action. I don't know what's going on with the video. I'm running the video camera all the time, but I don't know what's going on with it at all. So according to SOARCHAIN, dash cam airdrop is happening. I told y'all I might have missed the first 2 or 3 days of this, but I said, screw it. I'm already running it. Why not run this also? So they had over 5 million photos submitted, 25 million road-related objects detected, 1 million kilometers driven by dash cam. During the testing period, AI system continuously processed and graded photos across multiple metrics. I think this is going to cause a huge, remember I said it first, y'all know my favorite words, I told you. So I think this is going to cause a huge blow up. But they were graded for image quality, context relevance, and object detection accuracy. These grades were not enforced for rewards. Instead, rewarded honest and best ever participation. And when I read this, these gradings were not enforced for rewards. So, okay, so maybe it won't cause it much. My point is, when people don't get their 10-to-1 ratio, like it says right here, I think it's going to cause problems. But, you know, we'll see. These gradings were not enforced for the rewards. However, we rewarded honest and best ever participation. We are sincerely grateful to everyone who set up high quality image streams and contributed to building the global data set. At the same time, zero tolerance against gaming attempts. Accounts found to be submitted fraudulent or manipulated data were automatically flagged by AI, permanently blacklisted after human reviews. How do you game a moving video? Do I have a monitor? I mean, a good 4K monitor, and I'm putting my phone up as the monitor's driving down a highway or something. Like, I don't know. As they move into mainnet, there'll be weekly dash cam rewards, better camera guidance, so high quality photos can earn more, boosted multipliers were introduced so SOARCHAIN mini owners and SOARCHAIN stakers can receive higher earnings from dash cam. Physical AI's next frontier. So I read somewhere, don't quote me on this, but I read somewhere that while they're still keeping the SOARCHAIN mini aspect of this project alive, they're moving into this photo detection range. Now, to me, this is what, and I don't know nothing, but to me, this just reminds me of the same gimmick of weather. How many weather projects do we need? How many data sharing projects we need? So now here's, like I said earlier, another project that wants me to capture the roadway. Is there that big of a market for it? I'm going to tell you right now, as of right now, this says, if you can read it, that I have 436,000 DSOR. I went 8,800 miles. I told you I ran this. I ran this the whole way to Washington, D.C. on my road trip, my family road trip, which was so special now that things going on in my life. Going back and forth to my hunting lease, going back and forth to my son when we had to go visit the college at first, and Parents' Day, and then moving them in. All that driving I did, 8,000 miles. So if this is right, I should be getting 43,000 DSOR token, or SOAR token. 43,600. That's $88 for SOARCHAIN right now. I'll take it. You know, I know some of y'all are going to expect to get much more, but right now when you're making 0.07 cents for driving all over the earth, I'll take $88 if that's what I get. Because if they tell me that I gained it all, I'm going to lose it, because I had this on a perfect stand on the front of on my dashboard, along with everything else that accepted it. With ROVR, if it starts bouncing too much, it tells you something. It was steady. This should be steady also. So I'm curious to see what happens. Now, everybody gets their tokens tomorrow on the 19th, and everybody hurry up and sells. It'll dump the price even more, and it won't be worth that. Y'all know me. I'm an idiot. I'm not going to sell all these tokens. To me, it's not worth $88. I know I'm poor as hell right now, and I probably could use the $88, but I'm just holding out hope that something happens with this. Even though, yes, price is down 91% from the all-time high, I have to hope that there's some kind of alt season that works out. I mean, it's not really worth dumping all this for $88. If I can even dump it in time, I'm gonna see tomorrow and see how it looks. But you know, we'll see. We'll see if I even get it hit. You know, right now. All right, battle for last place is continued. Next is going to be ERWIN. I'm not even discussing ERWIN. ERWIN has had 0 transactions on its Explorer in the last 24 hours. In the last 30 hours. 30 hours. There has not been a single transaction, not a sell, not a buy. $300 left in liquidity. They're talking about they're trying to set up an NFT thing to make you buy NFTs to get this project. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Listen, I liked ERWIN. I thought it was cool. The cat in the box. You got to charge every so often. It's unfortunate. I don't know how to fix it. It's not up to me to fix it. I wish it luck, but that's the last place. Wingbits. I did a big video. I did a video last week on Wingbits. This is still my #1 prospect reward, #1 draft pick. You know, we got football right now, so we'll say the #1 draft pick ready to go. I've had several y'all contact me. I've had several y'all. I even did a live on Tuesday. I am going to start doing more lives throughout the week because I want to do more videos. I like interacting with y'all. I like all of us chit chatting. I like people correcting me, but hey, y'all correct me sometimes. Not that I'm trying to lie. I just can't math sometimes, or numbers change in ROIs, and you know, it's cool. So I'm probably gonna start doing more lives. Not every night like George does it. I don't know how he finds stuff to talk about every single night, but I am gonna start doing more lives. With that, we talked about Wingbits. I had several people asking me, DM'd me on Discord, Facebook, Twitter. Hey man, what's going on with Wingbits? How do you feel about Wingbits moving back on their TGE? If you read between the lines, they still haven't released it for everybody to listen to. I missed the first 15 minutes of it because I was at a work meeting. I caught the rest of it, but they make it sound that, hey, we can only get TGE mainnet correct one time. And that's it, just once. And if we rush it to make everybody happy, we screw it up. It's not worth it. I understand that. Listen, I got 15 Wingbits stations out there last I counted. Maybe 16, 15, 16. Me personally, I have family members I talk to. I got hosts that don't understand how the crypto game works, that I've had to explain to them why, hey, I told y'all you were going to start getting paid first week of September. And even though Robin said, yes, we should be starting then, and now we're delaying it. Hey, I also, though, give props to Robin, because he even said, while he could sign contracts for Wingbits and get them on board and get them started, the contracts would hurt the project in the long run and not be viable for the project. I got to respect that. Yes, I'd love to get paid for this project, but I also have to respect that I want this project to be long-term, and I want this project to be beneficial to all of us. And if that's what it takes, and if it takes upsetting a few of us to make it better in the long run, you got to eat crow and go with it. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm still doing it. Hey, I'm moving one of my DIY devices right now. I just got my antenna in, my 1090 antenna in from Amazon, putting a box together and putting one, like I told y'all, in downtown New Orleans, because they don't have one. My niece has full fiber internet with godly speed on it, that I'm putting really for Earnapp and all that too. And so my point is, I'm still putting money into this project, and it's still moving around. I'm trying to move around some of my devices, because when I first started this almost 2 years ago, all my devices were together in this little bitty cluster in South Louisiana, and I'm trying to broaden them out, because it doesn't make sense to have them all on top of each other. So my point of all that, still positive with the project, still going along with it. Also, you know, I'm fair and honest. I've had several people ask me about the issues that some of the high fix, a very small percentage. Hey, understand, if it's yours, you don't care how small or big the percentage is. Having some LNA issues. I did cover that in my last video that I did about Wingbits last week. If y'all didn't catch that, basically step one is you go to Wingbits website and open up a ticket, let them troubleshoot it from there, and then follow the instructions from there. People keep asking me, what's going on with this, and why is this doing this, and what do I need to do? Go to Wingbits, start there. Wingbits website. Moving on, 375 AI. No news from 375 AI. I don't understand how you do an announcement end of July, because I just looked at it, that says we're hours away. We're at the cusp of mainnet, and then you haven't heard a single thing since then. Definitely wasn't hours away. So I don't know what's going 375, but I know I'm still rocking and rolling with it. Another epoch passed today, and I'm just collecting and driving. Anywhere I go. I like it because it runs in the background of your phone, and you don't have to worry about it being open. You don't have to worry about any of these other issues with it. It just runs in the background and just runs. So if you're not if you haven't tried 375 AI, it's a new project. We don't know what it's going to pay yet or anything like that. I have a code below that you can join to get in without having to worry about the wait list, and throw it on your phone and run it in the background, and don't worry about it. What I do is every 2 or 3 days, I go to it to make sure I bring it to the forefront, make sure it updates, and it updates my GPS where I am now. There's a streak thing on the top, make sure my streak fills out, and then I don't force close it. I just then go to the next app and play with whatever that is. Next is COMBINDER. No news on COMBINDER at all. I know that their Telegram is extremely, because I had to turn off the notifications, extremely busy. They do everything through Telegram. You have to, I'm getting this question a lot lately. You have to use the Shelly plugs. That's just the way it works. That's their partnership they have with Shelly. Again, there's no project. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry, but for those who might be new, I needed smart plugs around the house. COMBINDER was a free project. It's new. Normally in crypto, you take a chance by coming into these new projects, and you get rewarded a little better. So COMBINDER was free. I get the Shelly plugs. I can control stuff away from home like I want to do, or at my host locations, like I'm gonna do at my niece's house with this Wingbits multi device, whatever it's gonna be. and I can power cycle stuff and whatever like that. And I'm making the points with the Combinder project. What it turns out to be, I don't know. I think they're very, very early. I think they need a little bit of help as far as the crypto side of this is concerned. I think they have good ideas and what they want to do. I think they need a little help. That's just me. That's just me being honest with y'all. We'll see. The newest project that I did not know anything really about, I heard a little bit about this about a month ago, completely laughed and blew it off. And I know when I cover this in a video, I am going to do a video on this, but I know it's going to be, you haven't seen hardly any videos on, I think this is why, is because we just made fun of this whole subject a while back. And here we are with BrushO. You're going to get crypto points for brushing your teeth. And listen, I have not hit the bourbon yet, even though I need some. But if you haven't seen BrushO, but here is BrushO. Yes, BrushO. I'll be honest with you. They even offered to send me a free one, so I'll take them up for it. That's not how I learned about it. I reached out to them for more information. I've had several people. Let me back up. I've had several people who asked me about BrushO, and I'm like, are y'all being like, are y'all pulling my leg? But I've had several people ask me if I'm doing a video on BrushO. Am I going to have a code for BrushO? And yes, those asking Helium deploy is activating my GrumpyDad 56 for BrushO. So my point I'm getting at is, while we laugh that yes, now there is a teeth brushing crypto project, it's legit. It's going to pay out. It has tokens. It has a drop coming up on Helium deploy. Here's Helium deploy. Talking about what's trending in DEPIN. Here's Wingbits. Trending in DEPIN. Pre-TGE and easy install. What's pre-TGE? Silly me. I thought New Blow was out, but that's me. Here's BrushO. Now, again, you're going to get 2 replacement heads. Somebody was asking about the replacement heads. Here it is. I don't own an electric toothbrush. I just go buy a new one every couple of months and just keep brushing and brushing and brushing. I'm doing a little more research on this to find out what it is. A brush, this is what some people brought up about a brush head that's going to last 90 days. After 90 days, you get a 5% decrease each day until you replace the brush head. But again, you get 2 replacements. So 90 days is 3 months. So the first 9 months of brush heads, you have that. So, you know, if you brush too light, this had to be a dentist that made this up. But listen, it's something different. If some of y'all are in the mood for a new toothbrush and you can make, again, we have no idea how these rewards are going to work or anything like that. It's cool, you know. Here's the website, BrushO.io. And apparently there's an app that you can go download. I guess that's what this is going to be for, is an app. Right here. This says they already got 49,000 total brushings. They've already issued out 43. The token name is Oral. Sure, this is not the sex product. I talked about that a while back. So yes, a replacement head. You get 4 replacement heads for $30. Somebody said that's how they're gonna make their money. I don't think they're probably making a lot of money off of 4 replacement heads for $30. Because if it's every 90 days, that's what, a year. So you get a year's worth. You get 9 months originally with another year's worth. I don't think that's that bad. Again, it says it's TGE, but somehow this is the part I don't understand is they say it's TGE, but yet they've already given out 4 million oral. So, you know, they show you a little interior of it. If you go, join the BrushO community. This is another Telegram link. Usage right, profits rights, how to connect. I see Twitter X. I joined the Twitter X already. Telegram. I don't see a Discord yet, but who knows? This is I'm gonna do a video on it. I'm gonna do a little more research on it. So you'll be seeing a video later this week on this for sure. Maybe I'll get a BrushO for free so I can demo it to y'all and see how that works out. So, that's 19 projects we're into. Well, actually, and if you include Honeygain and Pawns, that's 20 projects I'm in or getting into right now. So you'll see why, I'm going bald. I'm going crazy. But anyway, hopefully this video wasn't too long. Try to make it a little bit shorter. Tried skipping over some things, but either way, when you discussing 19 projects, it's hard to keep it under hours. Some of y'all say, my videos are too long. You tell me, how do I keep 19 projects under an hour? You talk 3 minutes about each project, you had an hour. 3 minutes with each project. So we'll see. Now I gotta go edit all this. I thank y'all for all the support as usual. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And like I said, I'll be doing a video on BrushO this week. We'll jump on, do a live tomorrow, Wednesday or something. Definitely gonna do my live on Thursday. And then, we'll see what comes up after that. But I appreciate everybody who watches, appreciate the support. Make sure you're in my Discord. BrushO now has a channel in my Discord. We'll see what happens with it. Think about it. You're not making anything by brushing at your house right now. So who knows? Thank y'all for watching. See y'all next video.